Barcelona's unavailable players heading into the early morning game on Saturday against Rayo. Gavi, absolutely gut-wrenching news. Gavi going to be out for the whole season. Marc-Andre ter Stegen with his back not going to be available for this. And also Sergi Roberto has been hoping that he would be available. Frankie de Jong too. But this is how things stand going into it against Rayo. Round 14 of La Liga. Things get underway on Saturday morning. And we need to talk about this as well, because obviously this is two massive losses, more so in the case of Gavi, the fact it's the whole season, Marc-Andre ter Stegen as well, and everything he brings to this side, Ali. Thinking of the whole Gavi situation, there is no direct replacement for this player, but who does need to step up in his absence?
You know how special my feelings are for Pedri and how much I think of him as a player. And he is not a direct replacement to Gavi, because I think he would have been on the field, and ideally Xavi would have Gavi and Pedri playing alongside each other with Frankie de Jong just in behind. Ideally, I think that's the direction that Xavi would go. Well, that's not the case anymore. Why am I mentioning Pedri? I think it is at the point in his career in which he needs to find continuity in his game, not because of lack of quality, but because of lack of playing time. So, if you're looking for somebody who needs to take his game to the level that we all expected this player to be at, I think it would be Pedri. I don't know that there are any more excuses. I know that he's a young player. I know that he was overused early on in his career. But look, we are now months down the line from that, and it's time for Pedri to take his rightful place as an impactful player for Barcelona and his rightful place at my dinner table, which has been taken over by Jude Bellingham. So, Pedri, if you want to make it back to dinner, you have to begin playing and playing well.
This is the trial run, Shaka. As you saw, though, there, Marc-Andre ter Stegen not available this weekend, Iñaki Peña coming in likely there. What can the defence do in front of a keeper that doesn't play every week to make sure things go easier for him?
Yeah, that's the challenge. When you have somebody like ter Stegen, who is as dominant a character in that rear guard as he is, just as a defender, you're used to the decisions he makes, you're used to the sound of his voice behind you, and it's a tough adjust. For Peña coming in, of course, big shoes to fill. How do you settle in? How do you figure out what your back four needs out of you, the instructions that they may need? That is very much a relationship that is built over time, and now all of a sudden you have somebody else coming in. How do you emulate that? On the one hand, if I'm saying to Peña, don't worry about instructing the back four. That's secondary. Right now, you just settle in, play your game, let them figure you out. And then you kind of, as you grow into that relationship. Because, and I've said this time and time again this season, a lot of goalkeepers want to come in and be all things to everyone. And their game, their own personal game suffers, and as a result, everything just kind of comes apart. Figure out your bit first, and then let the other pieces kind of grow as you find that confidence.
And let me just go back to Gavi for a second, and it's just half a second here. Mm-hmm. It's also going to be important for this team to find emotion in that midfield. You have a lot of guys who like to have the ball at their feet and possession, and they're all very clean technically, and so I'm talking about Gundogan, I'm talking about Pedri. But Gavi brought something different to that midfield in work rate, intensity, a tackle, 50-50 challenges. There was a certain sort of heart and soul kind of emotion to him, and how important he is to this club and to this version of Barcelona. I don't know where that intensity and emotion is coming from, but it's going to have to be there if indeed they're going to match up against teams like Rayo Vallecano and Estadio Vallecas. Because Rayo Vallecano depends on that 50-50 challenges at home, because it's a sort of close quarters, close confines, and you have to be able to match that intensity, and you have to be able to match the fight before you are able to execute the passing game in the manner in which Barcelona likes to play. So in order for Gundogan to have the freedom to play, for Pedri to have the freedom to play, they have to match the intensity, and that intensity usually was brought by Gavi. I don't know who brings it now.
I heard that Shaka Hislop is sitting this one out. It's an early start tomorrow. Ali and myself are going to be up bright and early for it, though. 7:30 Eastern here in the studio for the build-up to Rayo against Barcelona.
When you say you're sitting this one out, Shaq, How much sitting is it going to be?
Also available on ABC this weekend, Cadiz against Real Madrid. Coverage begins at noon. Make sure to be with us for that.